They drafted 2 other guys last night. Javon Small out of WVU, West Virginia, or no?
Yep,
yeah,
West Virginia.
West Virginia, and oh man, I just looked this up. Jahmai Mashack. Jahmai Mashack.
Come on,
sorry,
GBO, right?
Go big orange. I'm sorry. Jahmai Mashack. Why did I say Jahmai?
He's in the Old Testament with Meshack, with Abednego and those fellas.
Meshack and Abednego. I love that story.
Jahmai, Meshack, and Abednego.
They thrown in the fire. Javon Small, Jahmai, Mashack, and Abednego. If anybody hadn't read the Bible, it's a good story. We'll talk about it later. We'll have Bible corners sometime. Javon Small, so from what I've gathered, this it's tough to do a lot of research on these second round guys. This guy was, I guess, scouted as a first round pick by a lot of people. I think Chip had this guy, Chip Williams had Javon Small as a first round pick. I'm taller. Yeah, he had him, I think he was the last. I hope I'm not making this up. I want to say exactly what Chip said, but yeah, I believe Chip had this guy pretty high. My biggest issue is I'm taller than he is. That always gets me a little nervous.
Listen, why you looked that up?
Yeah, 29 on his big board. He had Javon Small 29th on his big board.
Wow.
So
listen, second round pick. There was obviously, and Jahmai Mashack and Javon Small. What these two have in common are they're just absolute bulldogs.
Yep,
they are. They like to point of attack defending, can't shoot, but they're going to bite your ankles. Specifically Mashack. Like I looked up his basketball reference last night after we drafted him, and he averaged like 3 shots per game.
Dude, but he might be the best defender in the SEC.
But that's what they said unanimously. And I can't remember. I think it was Gavoni. I know it was Gavoni.
Yeah, Gavoni.
He said like he's probably the best defender in the draft this year, and you got him as Mr. Irrelevant, the 59th pick of the draft, and he had a type.
Yeah,
Zach Kleiman had a type. He talked after the offseason was over that you need more dogs. We don't need no more cats. We need more dogs. And with a second round pick, these guys are not going to be like immediate impact guys. More likely than not, one of them at least is going to be a 2-way guy.
Which I think Chris Harrington announced this morning. I think he said Javon Small, the plan is Javon Small to sign a 2-way, Jahmai Mashack to play for a roster spot. And I think they said they may stash him.
Okay. Neat. So, it's about building culture. And I like going into a training camp where you just go get a bunch of Rottweilers and it's like, okay, don't shoot the ball. You're going to be all-time defense. All you other people, don't let them steal the ball from you.
Yeah.
Like, we're playing 5-on-7. Javon and Jahmai are just going to be our dynamic duo of ball swipers.
We saw what Oklahoma City just did. Ball
right.
swipers.
And we couldn't dribble. We could not dribble. And so I like it. It's a culture draft. Second round picks, I don't expect much out of them. I know Rusty was all of a sudden questioning Zach Kleiman's ability to draft again. 24 hours after drafting Michael Jordan, he drafts Javon Small at 48, and Rusty's like, I don't know if Zach Kleiman got it, mate. And I'm like, but you're not going to get it. Like, once the first round's over, you're not making a trade with your second round picks to go get a veteran wing. Like, you're just going to have to take them or trade back and get cash. Like, so just go get a Bulldog. I love it. I love going to get a Bulldog. There's no obvious guys in the second round that's like going to help you. We were in the group message, kind of joking with Wayno, like, we're going to go get your Aussie guy, like the 7'3" Aussie guy. Like, you just go find somebody that can help in the locker room or go find a guy that can help play defense. Like, you definitely don't want a prima donna in the second round or you end up with Kennedy Chandler.
Jeez. Oh my God.
Sorry, Balls fans, bringing you back down to earth a little bit.
No, yeah, it's like, hey, remember Jahmai? This undersized guard is different than that undersized guard. And if Javon Small is on a 2-way, man, you have him in these practices just being like, hey, I am going to make your life miserable in practice. I'm sorry. Give me that. Like, that sounds great.
And listen, I know Bob Huggins isn't there anymore, but Javon Small reminded me of Javon Carter. I mean, just what did Javon Carter say? Like treadmill mentality. It's like, I just want people that play in that have that sort of expectation about like what the game is. Yeah. And the game is hard. It is physical, and we're ready for it. Like, I love that.
Yeah. It's all one that we just saw in the finals. That's the style of basketball that won the championship. So you gotta
you look at OKC, and I know we didn't go for any big men at all, and I'm totally fine with that. Because you look at what OKC did, and they just continue to run wing after wing. And you know what? Next year, when somebody gets hurt, A.J. Martin, who played most of the season for the Oklahoma City Blue, is going to come in and be amazing. They're so deep that they're stashing people on their G League team. Like, we've got to get to that point. Like, we've got to get to a point with this second apron and basically a hard cap. Like, you've got to be able to stash some guys somewhere, and you've got to have good contracts, and you've got to have guys waiting in the wings because you can't afford superstars anymore. You can't afford 3.
Yep.
And so that's why I love they've upped the roster limit. I mean, like, you can have 15 players, including 3, and that includes 3 2-ways.
15 and 3 2-ways.
15 and 3 2-ways.
Yeah, 18
like
total.
18 folks that you can bring, and you can't have you can't miss very often. You looked at what the Grizzlies were last year, and it was like you were injured, and a lot of people were playing out of position, and it forced like guys like Jake LaRavia, who didn't really need to be starting, but he needed to be your 10th guy. You can't have that gap anymore. The guys you need to bring in have to be Swiss Army knife types of players who, at the very minimum, can keep the ball moving on offense and play really good defense.
Yeah.
So take a swing.
Take a swing. And I mean, if you're going to, they took one hell of a swing, man. I'm excited. What would you give the overall in the second round? What would you give the Grizzlies draft? I mean, for me, I'm A. I'm team A because of the coward. I mean, I just think all these guys are going to be able to.
Oh, you're talking about the whole draft altogether?
Well, let's. What was some? I combined 2 questions. What was your biggest surprise from the second round draft? I guess what stood out, and then what was your overall grade for the Grizzlies? I saw Reginald throw that question in the comments, and I jumped ahead.
Yeah, we'll do that in just a second. Listen, I don't know, man. Like, the second round is building culture, I feel like, and I appreciate that. The team lacked culture last year, and again, I don't really want to like depend on second round rookies to build a culture, but you could bring toughness and hopefully it permeates through that locker room, and so I like that. So I'll give it a B, but just a solid B. I don't really see a situation where any of them are playing role minutes this year, but I do see a path to where they affect the team in toughness, and down the road maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.